Welcome to SJCS Career Cafe. My name is Miss Kleiber and I'm going to be your waitress for today. For today's menu, we have a police officer, a realtor and broker, a military pilot, a city economic developer, a firefighter, a blogger, and cook. I hope you enjoy.
Howdy, I'm Jason James and I'm a police officer at the Bryan Police Department. To be a police officer, you need some type of education. We would like to see 2 years of education through college once you graduate high school. I personally have a master's, and so anything in between there is perfectly fine. The big thing is common sense. We need common sense to be police officers. Our officers start off at $55,000 a year. They only go up after that. The more you work, the more money that you can make. My favorite part of the job is that we help people. You can see the impact that you're making within the city and our community. The piece of advice I want to give you, if you want to be a police officer, is make good choices now. The decisions you make now, and as you go forward, continuing to learn and make those good choices, that's going to help you be a police officer. Thank you.
Hey Eagles, this is Jody Lucky, and I am the broker and owner of Treehouse Real Estate here in Bryan College Station. Today I am waiting for some clients to meet with me so that I can show them some property. They're coming in from Tennessee, so that's exciting. But I wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about a career in real estate. So the first thing you might wonder is, if I wanted to get in real estate, what kind of classes might I need to take and what are the requirements? So there are education requirements to obtaining your Texas real estate license, and those include you would need to take 180 hours of courses that were approved by the Texas Real Estate Commission. Once you take those classes, which those can be taken online or they could be taken in a classroom setting, a lot of people choose to take them online just because they can work at their own pace and get through it a lot faster than waiting for the class availability. But once you take those classes, then you would be required to take the state exam. So you go in, you take the state exam, and once you pass that, there's one more step. You need to find a sponsoring broker that you can put your license under and work under until you're able to, if you choose to, take the broker's exam and work for yourself. So you've taken your classes and you've taken the state exam and have passed all of that. You've got you a sponsoring broker. Just a few more steps need to happen before you can actually go and be active. You have to fill out the application to receive your license. You need to get a background check through the state of Texas, through the Texas Real Estate Commission, and also do a fingerprinting session with them as well. And as long as everything comes back and you pass and you have your sponsoring broker, then you can go and start being an active real estate agent, both buying and selling property. So what are some of the things that we do? Do we just sell property? Do we just show properties all day long? Some days that is what our day looks like, but the truth is that we usually don't have a set schedule, since every day looks a little bit different for us. So some days we might be taking pictures of a house that we're going to go and sell, list on the market and put for sale. One day we might be filled with showing properties. Another day might be a problem-solving day of homes that we have under contract that we're trying to push them into closing, but something's going on, so we need to put on our thinking caps and see how we can work through different problems with lenders or title companies, or maybe a survey came back and the property lines weren't exactly where everyone thought they would be. Another issue that arises is the appraisal or the value of the home. Sometimes we have to work through some of those issues. So those are some of the things that we work on a day-to-day basis. If you look to get into the real estate arena for your career, then what you would be looking at as far as compensation or your average pay, keep in mind that most real estate agents are considered self-employed and are on a commission-based only salary. So for the first 1 to 3 years, you're looking at an average income of somewhere between $30,000 to $50,000. So $30,000 to $50,000 annually in the first few years that you're in it, as you're building your business up. And then once you get a little bit past that 3-year mark, you're probably going to start seeing your income raise, and the average is going to raise up to somewhere between $75,000 and $150,000 per year. And of course, the longer that you're in it and however active you choose to be in real estate is going to drive what your annual salary or commission is with a job in real estate. Some of the things that I love about my job, I would say my 2 most favorite things that I love about my job is getting a listing ready to hit the market and go for sale. I really like the creative process of it, of getting professional pictures done and getting to edit some of those. I like the creative part of getting the marketing out to everyone. So that's definitely one of my favorite things. But my most favorite thing of all is the negotiations. The negotiation of a contract for sale to work out what the actual terms of the contract are going to be. So that would be one of my favorite things, but there's lots of different things that people like. It just depends on who the person is. And if I were to give a piece of advice for anyone looking to go into real estate, it would be go ahead and get your license, work on getting that, get your license, but then don't try and jump in with both feet on your own. Find a seasoned agent or broker who needs some help and see if you can work with them so that you can learn the ropes and know exactly what you're doing so that whenever you go to represent a buyer or seller on a transaction, you know exactly what you're doing and that you can help them and guide them through the process, knowing that you had some training. And always, the second piece of advice would be to always do the right thing and be honest, no matter how hard or difficult it is. To be the one who is standing up doing the right thing is always going to count, and people are going to remember who did the right thing in that transaction. So I hope you enjoyed learning some things about real estate, and if you ever have any other questions, feel free to reach out at Treehouse Real Estate.
Howdy, I'm Robert D. Barr, Colonel, retired United States Air Force. My career was in aviation. I was a pilot. I flew for the military. There are other ways you can fly. You can fly corporate, you can fly commercial, but for me it was the military. Going into the military as a pilot, you need a college degree. I'm sure there are commensurate levels of entry for commercial and for corporate, but for the military, it's a college degree. You may not want to fly your whole career in the military, and if you want to have a management position, maybe a supervisor or a command position, then you're going to need a graduate degree. And I'm sure that in the other fields of aviation, the same would apply. As far as pay goes, in the military, it's based on your rank and your years of service. In the commercial aviation, it's typically based on your line number, which will dictate what type of aircraft you're going to get to fly, how large it is, whether you're flying international or not, how many passengers you have on your airplane. And the more passengers you have, the better your pay is going to be. With corporate flying, it's basically the same. The joy of flying is probably something, if you choose to be a pilot, that you're going to develop, and it's hard to explain, but not only are you working with great people, are you flying different types of airplanes, are you going various places, maybe around the world, worldwide, visiting all different countries and cities. Yes, that's a lot of fun. But really, the thrill of you and your airplane working together is what's going to make it the most fun for you. What kind of advice can I give you? Well, it starts right now. Y'all need to study. What is study going to do? Study is going to give you the education that you need to be prepared when opportunity comes your way. If the opportunity's there and you're not prepared, you're not going to be able to take advantage of it. So it's not going to work for your best interest. How did that work out for me? Well, my last job was corporate pilot with Discount Tire. I got to fly the owner of the company. I got to fly the CEO, all the other executives. We went on business trips, we went on personal trips, and we went all over the world. Discount Tire Company. In the Air Force, I was lucky enough to retire after 29 years as a commander of Air Force One, having flown 4 presidents. So how did that happen for me? Just a little boy from Northeast Texas. I studied hard, I got my education, I was prepared, and I was able to take advantage of those opportunities. Y'all go out there and do the same.
Lindsay Gindy. I work in economic development for the city of Bryan. For this job, you need at least a bachelor's degree, preferably a master's degree. Average pay is starting around $60,000 up to probably close to $150,000. My favorite part of the job is working with the community, and my one piece of advice would be to find what you love and do it.
My name is Dan McNeil. I've been a firefighter for 34 years. At age 18, I started as a volunteer firefighter. Then I became a firefighter with the College Station Fire Department. I've been there for 32 years.
So during your day as a firefighter, what do y'all do?
During the day, we'll go ahead and come in the morning. We'll check out the fire truck and ambulance and make sure all the equipment is ready to respond to calls.
And then what else do you do after you've made sure the equipment is all ready for calls?
Once we've checked all the equipment, we'll go ahead and perform training throughout the day to make sure we're ready to go on calls, and we'll also take care of the station to make sure it's ready to be lived in.
What kind of calls do you respond to?
We respond to medical calls, motor vehicle accidents, and fire calls such as structure fires.
What kind of education or skills do you need to be a firefighter?
In order to be a firefighter in the state of Texas, you must have a high school diploma. You must receive your fire certification through a local or regional fire academy, and then you will get your EMS certification or emergency medical certification from the state.
Do you need to have college?
You don't need to have college, however, it will help you later on in your career advance in your career.
What is the average pay for a firefighter?
Average pay for a firefighter starts at around $55,000 and goes all the way up to around $67,000 just for a firefighter.
What do the chiefs and the bosses in the fire department make?
The company officers and chiefs can make up to $100,000 or more per year.
Is there any way that you can earn extra money by having specialized training?
Yes, if we receive specialized training and certification, we can receive extra money each month for receiving that certification or training.
What is the favorite part of your job as a firefighter?
Favorite part of is being a firefighter is actually being able to help people and being able to perform and conduct training at the station.
What are some of the examples of the fun training that y'all do?
The fun training that we do at the fire station can be vehicle extrication, which involves cutting people out of cars, or down firefighter drills where we actually get to punch holes in walls and rescue down firefighters.
Do they teach you how to jump over the side of a building?
Yes, that's called high angle rescue. We get to rappel over the side of the building all the way to the ground.
What is your advice for anybody who wants to become a firefighter?
Best advice is to do good in high school, stay out of trouble. If you get the opportunity, go ahead and go to college, and make sure you're physically fit to be hired on.
Hey guys, my name is Kelly Anthony. I am a food blogger at theanthonykitchen.com. And today I get to talk to you about what it's like to be a blogger and a little bit sort of behind the scenes, what goes on day to day, how we make money, all that good stuff. So I'll just start off by telling you a little bit about how a blog post comes together and some skills that you'll need if you want to be a food blogger too. Number one, you have to know how to cook and you have to know how to develop your own recipes. That is something that I would say is the utmost important about being a food blogger. Number two, you need to be able to put together a grammatically correct sentence, and then you need to be able to do that about 500 times for one blog post. There is a lot of writing when it comes to blogging, surprise, surprise. So I would say on average, I write about 1,000 words per blog post that I put out. I put out anywhere from 3 to 5 recipes a week, so I bet you can do the math there. It is a lot of writing. So you have to at least be a decent writer, and you should like to write a little bit before you get into this profession. In addition to cooking and writing, as a food blogger, you also need to have some photography skills. Now, this is something that I learned along the way. If you were to look at the first images that ever went up at theanthonykitchen.com, they were terrible and pitiful. But I stuck with it and kept working at it, and I would say that those images are pretty good now. I think that if you were scrolling through my Insta feed, you might get a little hungry. So that was something that took work, and just like every job, you just have to keep trying till you get better and you get where you want to be. And then you probably still need to even keep trying after that to get better. So I think that we covered most of what the job entails, the skills that you'll need. So you need to be able to develop recipes, you need to be able to write about the recipes, and you need to be able to photograph the recipes. Let's see what's next on the list. Average pay. Well, this varies wildly amongst bloggers. I'm not a little blogger. I'm not a great big blogger. I would say that I am a somewhere in the middle blogger. You can make, as a new blogger, you're probably looking at making no money because you don't have any traffic to your website, you don't have any ad income, you don't have brands that are wanting to work with you. But then you have the very top of the food chain, the big bloggers. These are bloggers who are pulling in anywhere from millions of page views a month. And they've got hundreds of thousands of followers. Now, these bloggers are probably making well over $1 million a year. I'm not that kind of blogger. Maybe one day. But I would say, if I had to guess, I would say that your mid-range blogger is going to make anywhere from $50,000 to $500,000 a year. So let's see what's next. That was average pay. Ooh, the favorite part of my job. My favorite part of my job is developing recipes. I love to cook. You should not be a food blogger if you don't love to cook. It truly brings me joy to cook and feed people. So not to cook people, but to cook food and then feed the people. So I love that. And I also really love the social aspect of my job. So it's really fun for me that I get to be here talking to you today. And I love to do that with all my Instagram followers. And I love to engage with my YouTube followers and Facebook, of course. So that is, I think it really just comes down to food and people. That's my favorite part of my job. And then let's see, piece of advice. Okay, guys, here's my advice to you if you want to be a food blogger. If you want to be a food blogger, you have to keep trying. You can't stop just because it gets hard or because you're not making enough money right off the bat. I worked really hard for 2 years before I made any substantial amount of money. And so that means that I basically worked for free for 2 years. To build up a following and to get traction, to get people coming to my site. So I went from, I think I'm in my 4th year of taking the Anthony Kitchen online, and where I started out with 0 in 2016 people coming to the website. I now on average have about 450,000 people coming to my website every month. So, but I kept trying. I never stopped trying, and it's paid off. Let's see, any other advice? Oh, if you want to be a blogger, it's really important that you make other blogger friends. So you would need to find Facebook groups, blogging Facebook groups, or if you know other bloggers in your community, You need to get to know them, and you need to be mentored, and you need to learn from them, and you need to watch what they're doing, the really successful bloggers, and you want to do your best to not copy their style, not try to emulate them, but just learn from their example. So I hope that this didn't bore you to death, a segment on food blogging, but I'm glad to be here, to be talking to you guys today. I hope that everybody is staying well and staying safe. Thank you for listening. And, oh, I was going to show you my website. What am I thinking? Okay, so this is the site, guys. This is, let's see if I can get the lighting to where it's not, here we go. Okay, so this is the site. Let's click here. And I was going to show you, I totally forgot about this. Okay, do you see, can you see? All right, this is theanthonykitchen.com, and we are just going to scroll through. Here we are, we're scrolling. What's that? That is an ad. This is how we get paid. Advertisers pay to advertise on our site, and every time you scroll past a recipe or you scroll past an ad on a recipe site, that blogger is making a little change off of you scrolling. So don't be irritated about the ads. It's how we make money. And then another way we make money, I can't believe I almost forgot this. Another way that we make money is we work with brands. So a brand like, let's say, Mission Tortilla will say, hey, Kelly, I see that you have a lot of Tex-Mex recipes on your website. We would love it if you would develop a recipe for our new game day campaign. So what do I develop for a game day campaign? Chimichangas. So I develop a recipe using Mission tortillas. I write about that. I tell my audience, hey, these tortillas were great in this recipe. And I'm essentially pushing out their product to my audience, and the brand is using my audience as leverage and my web traffic as leverage to bring awareness to their campaign. And that's another way that we make money. Okay, so now I'm really signing off. I think I've told you all the things. I hope that y'all enjoyed this, and I'll catch you later.
Thank you so much for joining us at SJCS Career Cafe. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.